in my confessions booth as the captain of Here We Listen, We Don't Judge. I want to welcome you to Confessions on TV3, my dear.
Dear Miss Nancy, I am here to confess about something that's been troubling me a lot. After finishing school, I started a business with a close friend. At first, everything went well. We opened a joint account to run our business. But as it grew, I began taking money from the account. I told myself it was temporary, but over time, the amount I took was increasing. My friend had no idea, and I even created fake paperwork to cover my actions, claiming I was investing in another business on our behalf. Eventually, our business began to sink. Clients grew frustrated with unpaid services, and the financial strain became too much. My friend, unaware of my theft, is now in a terrible mental state. His 3 children had to stop schooling because he couldn't afford their fees anymore and not able to support his family. Looking back, I regret everything. The money I took wasn't worth the distraction I caused, not only to the business, but to the life of my friend. What should I do?
This is his confession. This is his story. You are welcome back into the studio. After the confession, we get into the conversation. People, did you hear his confession? Yeah. A brother says, let's put ourselves together and do something amazing. We will sustain ourselves and create jobs for other people. And another one decided to be too greedy. Partnerships. Should we always do things with friends, with family, or it's better for us to do it alone always?
Okay, so Miss Nancy, thank you so much. I believe that it all boils down to integrity and personal values.
Yeah.
So whoever you want to partner with, you should know this person very well and know the level of value and integrity the person places on what you want to do. And also know that your vision is your vision, not your partner's vision. There are people who are dream killers, yet they will not tell you that they are not interested. They will just be rallying around you just to see when the food will be ready to take it away from you. So I go back to my first statement that it boils down on personal values and the rest. Thank you.
So, Mr. Clark, you wanted to speak, didn't you?
Miss Nancy.
Partnerships. You are men. You are into business. You are into all sort of things. What are some of the things that you should notice about people before you decide to get into partnerships with them?
Yeah, Miss Nancy, thank you. Miss Nancy, the problem is, before you get into partnership with someone, you first have to know the person. And then in this kind of partnership that you want to go to, what are the values? What do you look out for? Is it a kind of business that the person is bringing in money? You have your shop, the person is coming to fill the shop so that you do business together. If you're a contractor, you have secured a contract. Do you have machinery to do the job? Where is the person coming in? Because normally we only think people need to bring in money. But sometimes it's not just about the money. And also, when you want to open an account with someone, it is a serious thing. Why do you get into partnership with someone and then you open an account and then you are the sole...
leave the signatory to just
Yes,
one person.
you are the sole signatory. What about the other partner? For Christ's sake, that person is insane. Then he doesn't know what he or she is about. You understand? Before you get into partnership with someone, especially in Ghana or in Africa, you have to make sure you quantify everything. You put everything on paper. And if possible, bring in a professional lawyer. We have different category of lawyers. If it is construction, bring in a lawyer who understands construction. And then we should value whatever we are putting in. Now your friend has taken all the money, or that particular friend has taken all the money. Now you are facing challenges. Your family, your wife is going to leave you. Your children, you cannot feed them. And it happens to a lot of people. So this is a serious lesson. I'll stop here, but as we move along, we'll share some important experiences.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Now, to make the conversation take it to another level, let us bring in the professionals. Tonight, joining me is a legal practitioner, a good friend. His name is Lawyer Christian. For the first time on Confessions, people, let's show him love. Let's show him love. You're welcome, please. All right, so to join him to have this conversation, of course, is the woman you have known and enjoyed right here on Confessions. She is a career coach, Lydia Quayson. Ladies and gentlemen, let's make Lydia feel comfortable and loved. My lady, you are welcome.
Thank you.
Please have a seat. Are you comfortable?
Very.
You look good.
Thank you.
All right, so let's get to the business of the day, lawyer and lady. Lawyer, as a man, with all the knowledge and the exposures you've had, if I'm looking at having a partner in a business, what should I look out for
Okay.
in that person?
In that person. All right. That aspect, it deals more with social, or let me say, yeah, social impact assessment of
Yes.
whoever
The person.
the person would be, rather than legal.
Yes.
Because if you want to engage someone as a partner, you need to have trust. Trust would go a long way in helping the business survive. Now, that social value would also be translated into the legal arena, so that, excuse me, where that relationship, that trust relationship breaks down, such that the business cannot progress as a result of that, then we have something we call the voluntary winding up, that the parties are unable to progress the purpose of the business. And it is either the other partner buys the shares of the other out, or if both are not in agreement, then the business must voluntarily wind up its operations.
Like collapse.
Yeah, yeah.
Close up. All right, thank you very much. That's a good one. Okay, so let's talk about partnerships. Is it always that people put monies together to partner, or people put ideas together to partner? When we say partnership, what could it be?
Okay. So partnership basically deals with two people with the same focus, with the same vision. So first, before you can even think of partnering with someone, the person must buy into the vision. That is the fundamental basis. If the person don't see where you are going to, then it doesn't start at all. So first, the person has to buy in the vision. Aside ideas, aside putting in your funds, it goes more than that. Dedication, hard work, you know, how to make sure that that partnership or that business grow from scratch to where you want to see it go to. So aside that, the impact you want your business to get to. So what
I thought that just bringing my money and you adding your money is partnership.
it's not enough, because if let's say we are going to work together, you bring your money. We have types of partnership. I bet to differ because lawyer is here, but we have two types of partnership. So it's not just about putting your money together. If that is going to be your stance, then the fundamentals have to be set, or the records have to be set right. So the documentation from scratch, that you are just going to do this and I'm going to do this, should be laid, the emphasis should be laid from the word go. So it doesn't interfere when it comes to, let's say, who is doing that or who is doing this. So that is it.
Now, lawyer, if I have a brilliant idea and you have the money, does it mean that myself with the idea, I have lower shares in the business than you that is putting the money up for the commencement of the business?
Okay, all right. If I get you right, you see, when two people decide to come together to function a business, it is not necessarily about money, like my brother mentioned. The law makes room for services that can be quantified.
Okay.
Yeah, and sometimes these services should have recourse to Registrar General in respect of the quantum of service that we want to value in exchange for cash.
Yes.
So we should know the financial assets one is bringing. We should know the contribution in terms of service that the other party is also bringing.
So it doesn't matter whether I brought the money or the idea. If we are partners, we are partners.
Yes, we are partners, we are partners. Now, the partnership we could decide to go into limited liability company.
Okay.
We can decide to go into partnership proper. And with partnership proper, we would come up with partnership agreements. That is a mandatory if we are going to partnership formation of the company to the registrar of companies.
Okay.
So it also deals with, when we are going to partnership simpliciter, as in where the partnership agreement would be registered by Registrar General, it also comes with the role play of each party, the liabilities and all of that. Now, when we are dealing with limited liability company, they will be limited to the shares that would be affixed them, so that in terms, when it comes to liquidation of the company, liability will not fall or rest with them in persona, but limited to the shares. But if it is the situation that either of them or both of them had not given off the value in terms of shares after a call has been made on them, what happens is that when the company comes to a close, then the liquidator would cause them to pay for those monies to the extent of the shares that are registered with Registrar General. So when you are coming into business relationship, trust is everything. The fiduciary relationship that both parties espouse is what will see the greater growth of the company. If that cannot be established, then from the precepts of the conception of the idea, there are fundamental problems already existing.
That's a good one. Now, in this confession, you realize that it's about, they went into the business and one decided to embezzle funds from the business. But we've had a lot of situations of idea embezzlement in Ghana. Lawyer, I remember that I had a brilliant concept for an event. I went to an event place to inquire about venue and logistics for my event. They asked me about the concept. I shared it with them. That very week, I had an unfortunate situation where my social media handles were taken off. Somebody hacked into them and I lost everything. And I was going to use the handles to promote the event, so I had to hold on to the event. The venue got another person to orchestrate my event. They had the event without me.
Yeah.
And I couldn't do anything about it. It was just a verbal conversation. People are embezzling people's ideas. I share my idea with you. I bring a proposal for a business. I bring a proposal for a sponsorship for an event. You don't get to sponsor. I see that you are implementing my idea. Are there ways we can protect our ideas, our virgin ideas for that matter?
So these are intellectual property infringements. Basically, the simple thing you could do to protect yourself is when you have an idea and after conceiving the idea and you have an idea initiation like yours, you wanted to take steps to put it into reality. The first thing or the basic thing you need to do is to sign an NDA, non-disclosure agreement, with whoever you are engaging. That I'm disclosing this agreement to you as a result of A, B, C, D, and to that extent, you cannot carry out anything of this nature, elements of that. So the NDA agreement...
So those NDAs, you can provide them for your clients. If I come to you for an NDA, an official
yes,
and you,
yes,
you
yes,
get it
yes,
done for
yes,
me.
yes.
And that makes it legal.
Yes, it
so
makes it
wherever
legal.
I go to share my ideas, before I start
So,
talking,
yes.
you append your signature.
Yes, yes,
Ah,
yes.
brilliant, isn't it? Wow.
It depends on the program. Maybe if it's a tech initiative or so software development, you have, what do you call it? Other ones that engage in entrepreneurship and all of those things.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Sometimes some of the panelists turn back to get all those ideas done.
Because they have the resources.
Yes, they have the resources to maneuver their way around
it.
And the problem is that even though some of these ideas like programming and all of that, they have to be registered at the Copyright Office. So that, but the point is that even if you are not registered, it is presumed that it is yours. It remains a presumption. It remains a presumption until same is rebutted.
Okay.
And for you to produce evidence, for the other person to produce evidence, becomes a marathon of competing evidence,
yes.
In court. So it is always important that if you have such ideas, provided they can be registered at the Copyright Office, you could approach any law firm, lawyer, or you could even walk to the Copyright Office and they will assist you with the processes to protect some of these ideas, provided they are unique and novel.
Yeah, so I will come back to you, lawyer,
Yes.
to ask if somebody did this to me and there was a non-disclosure, what are some of the, what could happen to the person legally?
Yeah.
I'll come back to you. But Lydia, you have something to say?
Oh, yes. On the same non-disclosure clauses, even as I'm a senior HR professional, so in our line of duty, in terms of contracts between an employee and an organization, when you work for an organization, the fact that you work and you are paid, there are certain things that are for the organization. So
Yes.
that kind of non-compete, non-disclosure clauses are there to protect the interests of the organization. Now, looking back to the confession, if from the onset there were this kind of acting in good faith, making sure that the trust is there, acting in the best interest of the business.
I mean, this one, he's a thief. That was all. His partner was actually a thief.
Don't give the thief more room.
Yes.
Set boundaries. So you may have a thief, but how you are able to set your boundaries can, limit the person from stealing from you. So that is where
In the office, I have a superior. Our superior, the superior of my boss and I, would ask for ideas, proposals on certain things. I bring my proposal. My first point of call is my immediate supervisor. And my immediate supervisor goes to present my idea as his own and takes the credit for it. HR, is there anything I could do? Because, of course, we also came to show our intellect, to express it. And somebody is taking my intellectual property and taking the glory for it. What am I supposed to do?
In a corporate environment, the fact that you are working in a team, it's for the interest. It all goes to the interest of the company. So whatever you are proposing, mostly I say, when I'm even writing a minute, I put down, this is drafted by Lydia Kwesi on this date, affirmed. So you have, that is just a basis. Your supervisor is going to be someone directing you, making sure that whatever you have is okay, and pitching the idea to those in the boardroom.
Yes. So the supervisor went to pitch the idea in the boardroom as his own.
Yes.
And left me out of it. Meanwhile, when I made the PowerPoint presentation, I indicated by Nancy Adobianani.
Yes. It is not a good practice as leaders. It doesn't motivate your colleagues or those that you supervise. It's not a good practice. At least mention that this was propounded or initiated by Miss Nancy, taken up by the team and finalized. It boosts the morale of the person, for the person to go ahead and bring in more ideas. So that is not a good practice. But going forward...
But officially, there is no punishment for the person?
No, I don't think so.
Lawyer, can I take the person up?
The sad thing is that, it's not sad, but practically, if you belong to an organization, it goes to the contract arrangement. Yeah, if the contract indicates that such intellectual property that may be reasoned in the course of employment that is not exclusive to you, but for the benefit of the company, then you cannot bring an action against the company. You cannot make claims against the company.
That I agree, but I'm talking about the idea that I had, a new program concept that I had, that I probably gave to my producer because it's their forte to pitch new program ideas, and the person went to pitch it at management or executive management level, and they don't give me the credit for it.
So this again, it will not come to court because we call it is de minimis. It is. And the court does not deal in triviality.
It's a micro, eh?
Yes.
The court doesn't deal with triviality.
And we would say the reasonable course of action would be lost because it's employee matter, so that the producer is also an employee of the employer.
Yes.
So Madam HR will assist more. Yeah. But so, like she said, it is just... you must give credit to who credit is due, to encourage progressiveness and plurality of ideas in the organization, so that where persons are honored, they will feel motivated to bring ideas and see how the company can journey on, can progress. But if ideas come forth and it's as if the persons at the top are the ones who have such exclusive knowledge, while that person inherently is aware that the idea is not from him, would cause the backward state of the company.
You see something very similar. Like did this person sleep on the same pillow as I did? This is my idea. It's virgin. It dropped in my spirit, in my mind, and I'm bringing it out, and someone else has something similar. And so you realize that on our televisions, I think confessions did stand out until on social media, people started doing similar confessions. I found a pastor trying to do something like ours. Similarities, can we still go to the court about it? Because if I know this pastor and the person calls me and says, hey, Confessions is a great show, I've been enjoying it on TV3, and before I know, the pastor is practicing same on social media, can I hurl him to court?
So we look at the novelty of whatever the person is doing now, and we look at whether or not it's exclusive, so that if what the pastor is doing is the same in principle, in idea, then we can say that there are copyright infringements in terms of the ideas that TV3 is espousing, as contrary to that which the other person is also running. Yeah.
Okay. Now, back to the question I was going to ask you about if a non-disclosure is signed and it's broken, what does the law say to this person? What do I benefit as the one who's, I've been played on and the one who committed, if it's a crime? Can it be considered a crime?
No, so it's a commercial matter, and that makes it a civil matter.
Okay.
So an NDA is an agreement, it's a contract. So if you sign an agreement with me that you don't want me to circumvent you, you don't want me to carry out the same thing based on my exposure to the details of your ideas or whatever you want to do, and I run contrary to it, we go for breaches, so general damages for whatever. If there's an economic loss in terms of if you can establish economic loss, that also becomes another matter to consider. And then damages, so damages is in terms of monetary quantification that the court would compensate you with. And then cost of going to court.
Can also be given.
Cost of going to court, stroke legal fees of your lawyer.
Thank you. Thank you. Now, Let us take this break. This is Confessions on TV3. We'll be right back. This is Confessions on TV3. Tonight, a gentleman says that he came. He says that I formed a business with my friend. I have embezzled the money and now my friend is broke. I am sorry about what I did, but I've done it. And if I am the person in this confession that you have done this to, and now you are coming to me and telling me what you have done, what can I do to him?
So, first and foremost, you have already predicated this conversation by mentioning his embezzlement, his stealing, and all that. Yes. So, I mean, common knowledge is that if something is not yours and you take it, it's stealing.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's the same thing. If
something is ours and I take it, is it still stealing?
Yeah, so that's what I'm coming to. If you are a shareholder of a company,
yes,
it does not necessarily mean you are a shareholder and then you are executive director. So you're a director who is engaged in the day-to-day running of the company.
Yes.
You cannot decide to appropriate assets of the company to yourself without recourse to the company, without resolutions by the company.
So even though you have an investment in it, you have shares in it,
yes,
so long as the business has commenced,
yes,
you don't have the right to be chopping your 50%.
No, you cannot, so today you cannot go and, you cannot draw or even take an asset, say a car, then you go and sell it. Or because maybe you say, my wife is in some crisis, or my family or my grandfather is not well at the village, so let me sell this vehicle and then I'll use it of the company. Whereas the shareholders don't know anything about it. Probably a portion of management, but not even the totality of management and the board. So there are three organs that run the company. The shareholders, the board, and then management.
And management.
Yes.
So whatever monies, whatever resources you want to let go of, all these three should be in alignment.
Yes, so resolutions needs to be passed because whatever happens in the company, if it's not supported by a resolution, it is bound to be challenged. And in this situation, once the gentleman took monies from the company without recourse, the other partner can call for audit of the forensic audit of the company, and to the extent of the thievery or the stealing, that person could be bound to pay. So it can be reclaimed in the civil sense, and then it can also be reported to the police to take criminal action against him. Yeah.
So civilly, you can get back your money,
yes,
and if you want to take it even further, you can make it criminal as well.
Yes, yes.
That's nice. To the career coach, my lady, sorry for leaving you out for so long, but this is it. Now we know that he can get back his money with his civil rights now or go to the police. I want to get back my money. How do I rebuild? How do I continue in a partnership without being paranoid, being afraid that I'm bringing another person in, that one is also a thief, or that one is probably going to sell the whole business. This one is stole money. This probably would let go of the whole property and all.
Okay, so looking at what has happened, I believe that he needs time to rethink the whole face of the business. And also, if he's going to engage someone, then from the word go, from the onset, the documentation processes, what this person is going to do and all that should be laid straight. So in case of if you are going to be the one to invest, what are you bringing on board? And then with the signatories, it shouldn't be just one person because legally it's not even right for partners.
What I know is that the banks, even if it's a business, the banks do not allow for just one person to sign.
So I was really surprised with this.
It's not necessarily about that. You see, the bank would request for the mandate.
Yes.
And they are all resolutions passed. So if the company by its resolution says that
Nancy
I
alone can
want
sign.
I want the MD to sign a loan, the bank can say
No.
that's the resolution.
No share.
But tomorrow the bank would protect itself with the mandate and the resolutions brought to it. You get it?
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Guys, I've left you out of the convo. I'm back with you now. I wanted to get the best out of our resource persons. Yes, so let me take this gentleman in blue. Mr. Blue and White.
I think it's a good thing he has regretted his bad deeds and want to come out of it. But there are consequences. He won't go scot-free. That one there is a fact. But you know, from here, I think he should go to the friend. He should be bold enough and go to the friend and confess and apologize. And after that, pay the money, the stolen money. I think that will settle, half of the matter. Yes. And
now, in what environment do you think you should go with this confession? Because if it's me, and you come to me with such a confession in the privacy.
No, Mr. Nancy, I think he shouldn't go alone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, and it should be it should be a place that, he will think he's safe.
Yes.
Yes.
His
and
safety
again,
is of power.
Absolutely. You know, this thing of doing business together, partnership and all that, is not bad at all because of maybe financial constraints and all that. You know, it will end up like you need to assess the person you are going to do the business with. Find out if your vision is in line with him, if it's the same. I think my sister mentioned it. It's very important. Yeah. You know, even if the person is your sibling, you should set boundaries. There should be boundaries. There should be restrictions. When documentation is like, if both of us are not signing, it is not going to work. These are the very, very important things that we should note. And
sometimes we get too familiar with the people we do business
absolutely.
with.
No, so those things are the things that we need to take note about. And you see, a good friend will love you and build you up. 1 Corinthians 15:33 in our other translations. Thank you.
Thank you very much. He's always adding scriptures to his submissions. I heard somewhere recently that from a very great man that if he's doing business with you and he sees that as a man you're cheating on your wife, he cannot trust you. Exactly. He's not going to do business with you.
Yeah.
Wow, that's good.
Then nobody is going to get you as a partner.
Miss Nancy, you can always call me Alafia. This is very, very important discussions. I want to bring practicality into this.
Please.
As a media personality, I want to advise everyone, both with radio and television. Whenever you are being employed with an institution, the law says that once you are employed, I know that with the HR, they will testify to that. Once you are employed, any idea, vision, or anything you present in the progression of the company, whether it is a television station or a radio station, anything you present there belongs to the station.
Yeah.
You understand? You might have a nice concept as a presenter or as a host. Immediately you present it and you bring your sponsors and everything. Everything belongs to the station. But when you bring the sponsors, at least I know that with that, you are entitled to your 10 to 15% based on your strength of negotiation. That is one with the media personalities and television people. 2, when it comes to family, doing business with your wife, your girlfriend, your male friend, or your lady friends, please and please put pen and paper together. If you cannot hire a lawyer, put pen and paper together. Don't say she's my wife, so I want to give her 500,000 or $1 billion, and then when business, she can take care of their children. Please, no. Put pen and paper together, because tomorrow there might be a divorce. The lady can decide that she has money now. If it is a lady that is in the financial position to help her husband, please put pen and paper together. Because when the man gets money, one day he will tell you that he has found a nice woman, a beautiful woman, or he will meet another woman who has more money, who can invest more into the business and tell you that your money is small. My last one is that, Ms. Nancy, sorry, my last one is that, you see, we have people who have ideas, like what you talked about. When it's about furnitures, when it's about creating like Edinkra symbols, other symbols and other things, you can go to the folklore board and register with them. At the same time, go to the copyright. When you are a filmmaker, like media people and other people, when you create, like the lawyer said, when you create things, you have a vision and other things, you go to the copyright law people, the copyright office at Tigo office area, and then you go and register with them. But be always mindful when you are using colors, because Miss Nancy talked about duplication and copywriting. Duplication and copywriting, they are different. When I have an idea and I say, okay, confession has 3 colors. You pick those 3 colors. When someone is going to duplicate confession and a person uses a similar colors, then you can do what? You can sue. But when the person picks confessions, concept, setup, and everything, and changes the colors, it becomes difficult for you to sue. So let's watch out for all these things and move on.
Well,
Together we can build
thank you,
Ghana.
Alafi. I didn't know you would be so resourceful with this information. I'm grateful for you. And lawyer, you are the legal one. We know. We know. We are not asking you to. Thank you very much. So, lawyer and lady, one very important question I want to ask. Getting into partnerships and businesses with spouses and family members, what are some of the things we should look out for? In fact, there are boys and girls in Accra watching Confessions tonight who has given his girlfriend 100,000 Ghana cedis to commence a business. Girlfriend.
Okay. So, to start with, my lady friend mentioned 2 types of partnerships.
Yeah.
I just wanted to touch on that one, then I move on. So we have general partnership under the Partnership Act.
Okay.
And then we have limited partnership. So just as the name suggests, in terms of liability, general is unlimited. Yes. And then with a limited partnership, you are limited to a certain threshold of liability. Now moving on, persons who like giving monies to their girlfriends to do business, you should clarify whether the money is a loan. So that if it is a loan that is payable in the foreseeable future, then that is fine.
So if he gives me 200,000 for business, I should ask him, is this a gift or a loan?
Yes, you need to clarify. Because important thing to note is that domestic contracts are not enforceable. Yes, quite recently, I saw a young lawyer who had made some submissions and it was making the trends. Authorities have established that domestic contracts are not enforceable. So if I make an arrangement between myself and my fiancé, or husband and wife in their bedroom, or persons in consensual or conjugal relationship somewhere, and there's a breach thereof, and one party says that you promised to buy me a car, you didn't, so I'm taking you to court. What's the reasonable course of action?
A case, that was why it was thrown out of court.
Yes, it was thrown out. When that was put up, I wrote on my Facebook or that that case was dead on arrival.
Exactly.
Yeah, because domestic contracts are not enforceable. It must have a semblance of a commercial nature.
So same way, if my partner gives me 200,000 and I commence a business and he comes back to say that I gave her the money, so I own this business, that one too.
So there must be a business relation. So giving your partner 200,000 Ghana cedis, for example, to start off a spa business.
How do you know it's going to be a spa business?
I just mentioned.
Let's go ahead.
You need to clarify, like I mentioned.
Yeah.
So pen on paper is a commercial transaction. It is not the normal relationship that we are carrying on.
If there is no pen and paper, it means that it will not hold anywhere.
If there is no pen and paper, it does not mean that oral contracts are not enforceable. Right. The problem with oral contracts is that it is what you said and what she said. And that makes proving it in court
Very
difficult.
difficult.
So in such situations, the court would want to rely, or the lawyers would fall on circumstantial evidence. So that will range from WhatsApp messages, emails, so to establish, transfers, so to establish the intention of the parties. Did they intend to enter into commercial agreement? Was that element met? If that is so, what they agreed upon, that's their mind became ad idem, common mind. Is it that it satisfied the elements of contract, then we make a headway? You see, so you put your lawyer in a difficult situation now to elicit, to establish your facts for you. So if you want to do something like that, you are in such a relationship, please make it easy for everybody. So you reduce it, like my brother said, pen and paper. Then we are all clear.
This is Confessions on TV3. We are giving you information that will help you. So yes, it's a new year. You probably, first trimester of the year, you promised to give your partner some money for business. Now it is up to you to look critically at it. Is this money you're giving to your partner a loan or a gift? Don't go away. We'll be right back. This is Confessions on TV3. My lady, let me come to you.
So basically with partnership or businesses with spouses, friends, family, don't ever assume. You know, Ghanaians like assuming, like assumption, everything. I thought, I was thinking, ask questions. If you are dating a man or if you are with a man as a couple and the man is giving you something, you are in a business, the man invests in the business, ask, is this a loan as is stated? Or this is a gift? Or this is just a support from seeing that I'm thriving? Just lay the foundations clear. This is why most issues about friends and family businesses do not, go anywhere. So just lay the foundations right. Ask questions. Don't say because I'm dating him, because it's my boyfriend, so I think he gave it to me as a gift. Be clear with what this money is for. There are monies for gifts and there are monies for business. Be clear about that. So don't assume when dealing with people, especially in business.
When it comes to money, assumptions are not allowed. Yes, back to you, lawyer.
Yes, I want to add to the point that save that the parties reduce it into writing. In the situation where it has not been reduced into writing, and the fact is that the monies advanced from the boyfriend to the girlfriend is premised on the contemplation that I would marry you or would marry. So the man is pumping money into the business of the woman.
These days, the women have been pumping the money,
or vice versa.
Miss Nancy.
Yes, these days we have industrious women.
Very, very,
Yes, we
very,
have
very,
industrious
very.
women. We pray to get one.
Amen. Oh. Dear industrious woman, there is an available lawyer here on Confessions. Yes. So you were on it?
Yes. So in that situation, depending on who lets go the other, in the situation where there has been knocking, so now this branches into family law.
Yes.
In a situation where there has been knocking and the other party, through unreasonable justification, decides not to carry on with such arrangement, promise to marry, we call it breach of promise to marry, then whatever that the man has advanced to you, the man can reclaim them. You will bring damages. You bring action under that, breach of promise to marry. And cite the reasons why he needs to be compensated for all that he's done to you. There must be knocking. Knocking is a very important step in the course of marriage. It is the start of the marriage process. So some people think, oh, knocking is nothing. It's nothing.
It's
then you do knocking
with
for this
legal
person.
Issues, eh?
Yes, it is the connotation of what the court would look out for. The court would want to see whether...
If he hasn't made an effort to come see your family and tell them their intention of getting married to you and give timelines, there is nothing you can hold against this person. Even if the traditional marriage is not on and the knocking is on, my sister, you are in a comfortable lead. This is education enough, even though we didn't delve too deep into it, but at least we've given you an idea of what to and not do, especially when it comes to family relationships and family partnerships and spousal. It's been a good conversation. I'm grateful to my resource person. Thank you.
Good evening, Miss Nancy.
Yes, sir.
You're looking so gorgeous. I like your shoe.
Thank you.
Yes, so Miss Nancy, actually this story, I can relate to it so well. Somewhere last year, I went through something similar like that. So I don't want to be so hard on the gentleman because people do things for various reasons. Maybe who could know, maybe he was looking at a bigger picture for the company. That was why he did what he did, but it went against him. Somewhere last year, I was involved in some pageants. You know that pageants is so expensive when it comes to voting. Yeah, and even if you ask friends to vote, they'll be giving you excuses. And my mom entrusted me with some amounts. 15,000 cedis, but she's outside
of Ghana.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, she's not coming now, so let me use this fund for this thing. If I win, then I can use the cash prize to fix it back. Yeah, repay. So I was playing that kind of thing, and unfortunately, I didn't win. I became a runner-up. And my mom also called that she was coming, and now I needed to find this money. As someone who has always been on TV, now I have to look for ways to get that money because the money must be there to protect my integrity. Understand? So I had to look for a security job to do the job, even though I didn't like it, but I had to do it to get the money to protect my integrity. So what I could tell to this man is that if you have to pay that money to protect your integrity and save the friendship you have with the person, just do what you have to do. If you have to go into the debt to get that money for the person, just do it.
We're grateful that this is a young man whose image, whose personality, whose brand is important to him. And so he would go do security job just to repay his own man. But there are people who take relationships for granted and themselves for granted. They can't be worried. It's my mother's money. Will she kill me? I think that you exhibited great strength of character. Let's appreciate him. I'm glad. Ladies and gentlemen, we're wrapping up. So to you, the lady first, your last words for this confession and conversation.
So the gentleman in question, you know, no one will want to have any business with you. So career-wise, you need to work on yourself because your reputation to do business with anybody is broken. So you have to make sure that you seek career counseling and support. Also, repay the money to your friend. The payment cannot replace or satisfy the cost or damage you've caused, but at least it shows a sign of remorse.
Yes.
So go ahead and do that.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Lydia. Yes, lawyer?
Yes, to wrap up, I would say that the key things, if you are entering into partnership, know the kind of partnership you are entering into. If it's limited liability, to know it because we said all of that. Now, maintain trust relationship, and also where it is a domestic relationship, let your intentions be known. Is it you're advancing money for commercial nature or in furtherance of the domestic relationship? Be clear. And if also you are in the marriage process too, either party should also know that once the money is in contemplation of the marriage, there will be consequences should there be a departure from the intention. So in a nut, these are some of the things I have said, and I said it.
Thank you. Now, our take home from tonight's episode is that trust is very important in forming partnerships with family members, friends, and whoever you come into contact with.